I presented a paper on nutrition program which is meant for adolescent girls. And this paper I presented at the American European Health Economic Study Group, which was held at Harvard Kennedy School last month. And it was a wonderful experience because of two reasons. First, it happened at Harvard, so there is always excitement about that. And secondly, it's a small group, so there was a lot of opportunity for me to interact with other researchers, and I got to know what other fellow researchers are doing on similar topics elsewhere in the world. Right? So overall, it was a very good, enriching experience. Currently, I am working on quite a few topics, and these are all related to public policy. So there are papers where I'm looking at a particular, environmental regulation and its impact on farm performance, or there is another paper where I'm looking at a national level, pipe drinking water supply and its impact on, educational outcomes of kids. I think these are really the pressing questions in today's time. So there is a lot of relevance from a public policy perspective. But at the same time, I think we are contributing more in terms of the methodology because we want to add rigor. Because sometimes you come across studies which are very anecdotal, right? So we are trying to contribute both methodologically as well as the interesting research questions. I strongly believe that research has always been one of our core strengths. In fact, research is always there in our culture. And if you look at the origin of IFMR, it's first started as a doctoral program. It's doctoral program, and then the management program came much later. So at present, if you look at the research infrastructure in terms of the library that we have at Krea, then the databases that we subscribe, the journals that we subscribe, these are really good for any researcher. And then additionally, we also have a doctoral program. So these doctoral scholars, once they finish their coursework, they have a lot of fire in their belly. So if you have a matching interest, you can always work with them. So in overall, I think it's a very conducive environment for doing research. Based on my experience, I can suggest, I still believe that I'm at a learning stage because it's all learning by doing. But I think there are quite a few characteristics that any researcher should have. The first thing, you should be very patient, and you should have a lot of perseverance because research takes time. And then you should always be looking for something interesting, a research question which can inform a debate or has some implications for policy making. And then you have to delve really deeper and see how you can address that answer that question. I think research is really important because if you look at the current scenario across the globe, there is a lot of attention and there is a growing interest in evidence-based policy making. And how do you generate evidence? It's all through research. So research is not just meant for academic publications, but these are also nowadays getting a lot of attention from the policymakers, and that helps, right? So you need to know which program works and which program doesn't work, and then if something works, you want to scale it up. Yeah, I think we all have some research, interests, and then you look at what's going on in the current scenario in this policy space, in the development space, and identify something which is still unanswered, right? And there, I think there is a lot of opportunity for a researcher to contribute. It could be incremental contribution, it could be a major contribution, but that should be the driving, the motivation. These days, a lot of researchers are actually working on studies which are empirical in nature, and I think the major reason as to why people are interested in carrying out empirical research is because you want to generate evidence which can inform policy making.